Assalamu alaikum, Sister Noor. Good morning. This is the Breville Oracle Touch BES990 in brushed stainless steel. As you saw in the photos, it's a factory second, so basically this is a new, never used machine, but it has some scratches from like transport, manufacturer defects, or sometimes being a returned unit. Customers don't package it properly, so you have scratches around the back here and a few on the left. But I would say it's like 98% like new. No problems at all. In this video, I'm going to make a full demo of the machine, testing all the features, basically. We're going to make a latte, my morning latte actually. So I'll teach you everything from the beginning in case this was your first Breville Oracle or your first coffee machine. So when you turn on the unit, usually it takes about 5 minutes to reach temperature. The unit now has been on for about 10 minutes, so it's nice and warm. You can warm up the machine. I would recommend you warm up the machine actually, rather than making a coffee right away. So you can warm it up in two ways, either by letting it stay on for another 10 or 20 minutes. You can even store your cups on top, they'll get a bit warm, but you'll notice your handle will get hot as well. Because this group head block is heated, so the handle will get hot even if you just leave it on. You can also actively warm it up. So get your cup and put in the handle. It's empty now, of course. Lock it in and press a single or double quantity of water. This will give you obviously hot water right from the boiler. It'll go through the handle, warm it up. It'll go through the cup to the cup and warm it up as well. So you want to do this. I would highly recommend you do this every time you first turn on the machine in the morning. It also acts like a flush cycle, so if there's any coffee grounds or dirt stuck in the shower screen and basket, this will clean it up. I'll just stop it here because we don't want to fill the entire cup. That will take too long. So at least half the cup, just to give it a bit of heat. In this video, I am using everything for your machine. So the hopper is for your machine, the tray is for your machine, but this is not for your machine. Ooh. This is from a different machine, just for the video. I don't want to make your one dirty. It's in the box, I'll put it back when I finish this video. Also, the handle is not for your machine. This handle is obviously from a used machine. I'm using it just because I don't want to make yours dirty and wet the box. So yours will be obviously included in the box brand new and not scratched like this one. Okay. And of course, after the video, I'll vacuum everything, I'll dry everything, and then put it back in the box. After you do this warm-up procedure, take out the portafilter and dry it with a tissue. You want it to be dry before you grind because the grinder is sensitive to the tamper is sensitive to the coffee grounds and if they're wet or dry, so you don't want it to be wet. I'll put this on top while we do the other things. If you're interested, I'm also going to measure the input and the output. Usually the input is about 20 to 22 grams. That's 22 grams of coffee in the handle. And the output I'm going to measure is the espresso coming out of the handle. So some people like to measure that. But this is an automatic machine. You're not supposed to do that really. I'm just going to do it for your interest. Alright, let's add beans. I haven't added beans yet. We will have a look at grind size number 10. I've never made a coffee on it, so I don't know if this is the correct grind size or not. And each machine is different. I can't use the same settings from a different machine on this machine. So I will add some beans. Let's have a look. this looks okay. This looks maybe a bit coarse, a bit too large for the grind size. I'm using medium roasted beans at the moment, and I opened the bag yesterday, so it should be okay. We'll make a coffee on it and see what happens. If it runs too quick, I will grind a bit finer, so I'll go down in the number on the grind size. Because if the particles are too large, very big particles, the water will flow very quickly through the coffee and you'll get a very fast shot. If the particles are too fine, it'll be very difficult for the water to go through, so it will be too slow if you grind too fine. Basically, the number is like the speed of the coffee. If it's a very large number, it'll be too quick. If it's a very small number, it'll be too slow. But each machine is different, so what's the perfect number? I'm not sure. We'll have to see. Let's start at number 10 without further ado. Yeah, very easy. Just put in the handle and turn it. It will do everything automatically. Very nice. Just turn it upside down. If there's any loose coffee, just get rid of it by turning it upside down into the bin. But yeah, it looks really good. Nicely polished. This was, yeah, 24 grams. So a bit on the high side. That's okay. More coffee, more flavor. Lock it in. So you don't have to go all the way to the right, because it's a new machine. All the rubber seals and the plastic rubber seals and the collars are new and thick, so you don't have to push it all the way because it's fairly stiff here in the middle position. Maybe in a few years' time it'll be a bit more softer and you can turn a bit more to the right. Now I'm going to calibrate my scale to measure the output. I'll press the double button, so single will go for I think 20 seconds or 25. I always use the double because that goes for the full 30 seconds. That's what espresso should be. I'll be aiming for 40 to 50 grams of coffee. So the machine will always do 30 seconds. But the output will be different based on the grind size. So if the output is very small, that means the grind size is very fine. Like we said before, it's very slow. So in 30 seconds, you don't get much coffee. So we need to increase it in that case. If the output is very profuse and it gives us a lot of coffee in the cup, which is not good, in that case, we have to grind a bit finer to slow it down. So let's see what happens in 30 seconds. Of course, this is a dual boiler machine, so we can steam at any time because it's a dual boiler. But as you see, it's 15 seconds into the shot and no coffee came out. Very little coffee came out. So that tells me the grind size is too fine, which is interesting, I think, because the beans are fresh and also because the temper presses really hard on the coffee. So I will probably do the same at grind size, let's say grind size 15. I'll try grind size 15 or 20 and see what happens. Give it a quick flush. just to be consistent, I might use your own basket. So this is your machine's basket. It's the genuine, the original Breville one. The one I have here is a different brand, so maybe that affects things. This one is a bit larger. This one, yeah, it's a bit deeper actually. So I'll take this out. I'll be using this for this video, but then obviously I'll put it back in your machine. Sorry, I'll put it back in the box after I clean it up. Cool. Make sure you keep everything nice and clean. Now let's try grind size 15. So you can go up in size without having the grinder running, but if you're going down in size, so if you're going up in size, the blades will like go further apart, and that's fine. But if you're going down in size, they will come closer together. And if there's any beans, that'll be tough on the mechanism and on the dial, like the gears on the grinder. So don't go finer in size if it's not grinding already. It'll be really tough anyway to go down in size without it grinding. Cool. After you, also important, after you change the grind size, some of the coffee in there will still be the old grind size. So now there's maybe 2 or 3 grams of old coffee. So I'll just do this, let it grind for 5 seconds. To get rid of the old grind size. Good. Now we're ready to make another coffee at grind size number 15. Add a bit more beans. You can also touch the button if you want. Cool. Again, nicely polished. Looks really good. 21 grams. So this basket will take 21 grams with this with these settings and this bean, which is good. Lock it in the middle, and hopefully this time it will be a bit quicker. We'll actually get some coffee in the cup. Press the double, see what happens. That looks much better. Hopefully we should get about 45 grams. I'll stop it at 25. So 21 times 2, 42. Anything between 40 and 45 is good. Even, let's say 35 to 50, it's fine. It doesn't have to be exact, it's not a science. 38, that's pretty good. This is what it looks like. I could have run for a bit more, to the full 30 seconds. So I think the settings are okay now. What's important is that when you get it home, in Saudi Arabia, you have to use fresh beans. If you're using beans from the supermarket, from Panda or Carrefour, like the beans on the supermarket shelf are usually old and not freshly roasted. So go to a cafe or a roaster that roasts their own coffee beans, and buy beans that are roasted within let's say 2 weeks. So you can use it from week 1 all the way up to week 6, and you can make good coffee there. After like 1 month or 1.5 months, the coffee will be old for espresso and it will taste sour. Also, old coffee will be very runny, very quick to come out. And so when you use old coffee on this machine, you won't get good taste, and you'll get a lot of coffee. You'll notice that if you do use cheaper or older beans, you'll notice that the coffee runs really quick. Okay, without talking too much, let's actually do the milk to make this a latte. I forgot to say that before you brew the espresso, if you like to add sugar or hazelnut syrup or whatever, do it then before you brew the espresso, like sweeteners or sugar. For me, I'll add some hazelnut syrup if I can find it. There we go. Just gonna add a little bit. Yeah, that's amazing. Cool. Oh, I forgot. I'm also gonna use my own milk jug and not your milk jug. Again, for the same reasons, we don't want to wet the box and dirty your own equipment. So the machine works best with cold milk. Cold full cream milk is what I'm going to use. Reason is cold milk will have more time to steam. Of course, you're starting from a lower temperature. You'll steam it for more, so you'll be able to give it more froth, more texture. So I'll use the automatic setting on the machine. You can always raise the wand and press manual. You can steam like a barista and hold the milk jug, stand there and practice your technique. So the technique would be to put it at an angle and help it spin in the milk jug. But this is an automatic machine. I think most people use it on automatic setting. Just like the grinder, they'll use it on automatic. And at the moment for the machine's basic settings, it's 65 degrees and 5 froth level. So it goes all the way to 7 or 8. Whoops. Temperature goes all the way to, I think, 70 or 75. But the froth goes from 1 to 9. I'll put it on 5. It was at 5 from before. And the temperature was at 65. Let's see what happens. If you want to be time efficient, you can start doing the milk and the coffee at the same time, so that they finish at the same time and you can pour the milk right away without having to wait, or like having to let the espresso wait for you. Or you can do the cleaning while you steam. Take this out. Just flush it a little bit after you finish. This will clean your shower screen and the portafilter at once. And then it would be nice to maybe grab a tissue or a brush and wipe. Yeah, that's the milk done. It looks very nice. A lot of foam. Let's not let it wait for too long. Very important, once you finish the milk, make sure you have a wet towel next to you. So, take it up. Wipe it straight away, because obviously it's metal and it gets really hot and the milk will stick to it if you don't clean it up right away. And then when you push it, it'll clean itself as well on the inside. So, you'll use it. Very nice. Yeah, it looks clean to me. Yeah, it's a pretty small machine. Okay, milk looks really good. After you finish, just knock it on the counter to break any big air bubbles. And swirl it up to mix. And do this until the surface is nice and smooth. You can watch some YouTube videos, they'll teach you better technique than me. But yeah, I'm just teaching you the basics. Wow, this looks pretty good. I don't usually do any form of patterns or latte art. And I'm not going to say this is latte art, but it's something, I think. Not sure if that's a heart or a tulip or something. But yeah, if you're a barista, if you have some form of latte art skills, I'm sure you can do amazing patterns with this machine. So this is an automatic setting. Imagine what you could do on the manual settings. But yeah, hope you enjoy the machine. Hope it arrives safely. I'll package it up as much as best as I can. Yeah, hope you enjoy. If you have any questions or concerns, please let me know. But hopefully nothing. Breville is a pretty good brand. The only thing I'll recommend, two things I'll recommend actually, before we end the video. Don't do the descale cycle. Try to avoid the descale cycle at all costs. Instead, use filtered water and the filter inside the water tank. So your machine will come with a filter. You'll see it in the package. Use that every 3 to 6 months. And on top of that, if you have a filtration system in your kitchen, use that as well. Because if I remember correctly, the Saudi Arabian water is pretty hard, so you get a lot of khils and like deposits on the appliances and the water tap, if I remember correctly. So yeah, you don't want that khils and this like scale buildup to happen inside the machine and on the boilers and on the pump. So try to use filtered water if you have, and also use the filter inside the water tank, which the machine comes with, and change it every 3 to 6 months. That's the best way to avoid any dirt buildup or problems with your machine. And avoiding the descale cycle is because the descale cycle can overheat the steam boiler and cause issues with the steam. So we don't want that to happen. Also, service your machine on time. Not many people know this, but you have to service this machine every 2 years. So in the first 2 years, no, don't do anything. It should be fine. But after the 2-year mark, you have to service it every 2 years. So at 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, just to check the rubber rings on the boilers, make sure that no connectors are leaking steam or any water. If that does happen, it's a problem, because obviously if you let the steam leak for 2-3 years, it will break your machine. So if you want to prolong the life of your machine, service it every 2 years. That's all I have to say. It's an amazing machine. Hope you enjoy. And yeah, take care.